Hey everybody! Oh, I'm super honored. There's already 45 people online. Thank you so much for joining me. First things first, before we get started, can you see me okay and can you hear me okay? Just let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me. Let's just get those two things sorted out. I'm looking at the comment section as well. I've got that scrolling constantly. I'm constantly seeing the comments. So feel free to pop anything in there. Now, I know that I'm very bright. Oh, I'm getting some yeses. That's fantastic. I know that I'm very bright. We have the British summer to thank for that, because although it's beautiful and sunshiny, there's rain and then there's cloud and then there's bright sunshine. So we are having to adapt today. Oh, that's amazing, Lillian. Thank you for saying that's clear. Yep, Joanna, Lillian, Claire, Debbie, thank you, everybody. That helps a lot. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining. Raindrop, no, you are not late. We have just started. The first things first, while we're waiting for some people to trickle in, I want to ask you guys a question. How does making art really benefit you? How do you feel when you've been painting, providing it's been a good painting session where you feel inspired and it's gone well? How does it make you feel? Like, what sort of benefits do you get from it? Why do you paint? I want to know the why, because that's what we're really tuning into today. That's going to be kind of like our underlying theme of today, is really channeling into that reason why we paint. So yeah, as people are trickling in, there's currently 75 of us here. Amazing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciated it. And I really think that you're going to hopefully take away some really cool tips today. Fulfilled, Claire says. That's amazing. I feel the same way as well. That beautiful feeling of being full. It's like your innermost self feels full. Definitely therapy for me, first and foremost. Absolutely. Lillian says it's charging my batteries. Amazing. Oh, I love that. I love that. So yeah, tapping into the reason why we paint is going to be so important. Oh, it gives me butterflies in my stomach in a good way. That is beautiful. What a lovely way of saying that. Thank you. All right. So I have a few slides that we're going to kind of just have a little look through first before we get into the painting section. If you do want to paint along with me today, you are more than welcome to. Some of the materials you need is a sketchbook, because today we're just focusing mainly on using sketchbooks and how we can actually use sketchbooks to really grow your art skills. And the colours I'll be using is magenta, or a red's fine too, a sap green, or any green will be okay, an orange, a white, and a wide flat edge brush. These are the brushes that I'll be using, which are both flat edge. I'll go into what we'll be painting later, but also really I probably would recommend watching this through, and then if you want to paint it, do the replay. Watch the replay with the painting, because I think sometimes it can help to really take it all in first, can't it? Thank you so much again for your comments. Painting is relaxing, expressing feelings, stress relief. Absolutely. Agreed with all of them, all of the above. So today you are in the right place with me right now. If you want to improve your art, but your sketchbooks tend to stay empty, sitting on the shelf, and we've all been there, especially if you feel like you don't really know where to start. Maybe you want to paint in your sketchbook and you open it up and that blank page just stares right at you and you're like, maybe I'll put it away for another day. Or if you're tired of watching the endless tutorials and feeling kind of chained to that, but still feel unsure when it comes to painting on your own, it doesn't go right, so you kind of lead right back to tutorials, this lesson is going to be great for you today. Also, if you tend to just overthink everything, and everything you paint just feels like that not good enough, which is an awful feeling, isn't it? So then you don't even want to begin. The things we're going to cover today is roughly going to be, I'd say, 40 minutes to an hour tops. I really want to try and keep it as short as possible, but there will be an opportunity to ask me questions, especially at the end as well. The things we're going to look at today is the biggest reason why your art is not improving, especially if you've plateaued, and it's definitely not a lack of talent. Also, you're going to look at how you can finally use your sketchbook as a tool, allowing you to grow as an artist with no pressure attached. We're also going to look at the 5 core skill method that has helped me and hundreds of artists really grow faster and more confidently in their artwork and are seeing really great results quickly. We're going to be doing a painting sketchbook live demo, so you can actually see and feel the shift in that growth and kind of get like a little bit of taster for it. And also how you can take the next step and really supercharge your art in the next 14 days. Who this class is not for, so this is not for those who just want to kind of stay in that tutorial loop and aren't actually interested in kind of learning those skills to go off and be free in your own artistic vision. I'm not sure really who that would want to be, because I just feel like when you are painting, to really just be with your inspiration and paint what you want and it turn out good, to me those are the two perfect concepts coming together. But if you just want to stay with the tutorials, perhaps this might not be for you. And also people that are looking for just like that quick fix, like I want it now, and I don't want to put in the work for it, even the fun kind of work, because at the end of the day, artwork, it is work. And it does require that work too, but it is fun. And so if you enjoy it, then there's no problem with that. Also, anyone who isn't open up to like playing or trying something new, or needing everything to be perfect. So that's kind of where we're gonna come from today with this angle. Now, I used to be terrified, honestly, not even of the blank page, but even if I'd painted something that I started liking, it almost made me even more terrified, because I'm like, please don't mess this up, Katie. Like, really thinking about every single paintbrush stroke I'm putting down and thinking, is this going to mess it up? Am I going to lose what I initially like? But the blank page as well is just so overwhelming. And so we're kind of going to unpack that today. Now, I used to buy all the supplies. I'd get a new sketchbook and I'd be so excited. And then I'd just be like, now what? Now what do I do in there, because I'm so scared? And honestly, it would be like 20 minutes before I'd even put the paintbrush to paper, because I'd just be like, what do I paint? It needs to be right. And it would just be in this freeze state. And it was just pressure of it wanting to be perfect, really. But then as soon as I realized that it wasn't about like natural talent or not natural talent, whether I'm good, whether I'm rubbish, and I made it so much about like who I am as a person and almost like this self-worth thing. As soon as I disconnected that and just thought, this is a place for me to play. This is a place for me to unleash myself and my thoughts and my creativity, and kind of detached that self-worth. That's when you see true growth, because it allows you to really open up and start building those skills as an artist that you really need. Now, this leads me to the point. Most hobby artists, or those that would put themselves, I'm not putting anyone in a category, but if you yourself put yourself in that category of like, I'm a hobby artist, which I feel like a lot of us can do, because sometimes we don't feel enough to call ourselves, I'm an artist, to kind of declare that to the world. I suppose, like, I don't know, it comes with not feeling enough maybe. So if we put ourselves in that hobby artist category and we have plateaued, or we feel like our artwork has got to a stage where it's never kind of like got any better, it's just stayed there, we might think that's just all I'm capable of doing. Like that's me at my limit. But it's not that at all. It's certainly not because you don't have that natural talent, but it's because there are these skills, these essential ingredients, and it just means you haven't learned them yet. It just means that you haven't yet got them to their fullest extent. That's all it is. So when we learn what ingredients they are and we get those ingredients, that's when you can really unleash and become the artist that you really dream of being. And I say this so passionately because this is exactly what happened to me. Like, I used to hate my artwork. I felt so, just a lot of feelings about it. I used to throw most of it in the bin, and there'd be a lot of tears and yeah, a whole thing. And I used to just stare at people on Instagram and think, how on earth are people making these incredible paintings? Like, what am I missing here? And this is the process that I went through. And now hundreds of artists are going through as well. So anyway, yeah, I've got a little cake. You might think, why is there a picture of a cake? It's because we wouldn't think about baking a cake if we didn't have all the ingredients. Say if we had the sugar and the flour, but we didn't have any egg, or we didn't have, I don't even know. I'm not a baker personally. But if we didn't have the ingredients, we wouldn't expect the cake to taste good, would we? And it's the same with art. So what are those ingredients? These are the 5 essential art skills that are in every single painting, whether you're aware of them or not. So every painting that you've done has these 5 elements, and it's down to us whether we kind of choose to control those or we just leave them up to chance. Now we've got composition, so that's the arrangement of elements on a page. We've got drawing, so that's not necessarily about pencil and paper. That's not what I'm about. I'm about color and expression. But it is about shapes and proportion, which still applies to painting. Then we've got values. That's what creates that depth and that realism. That's kind of like a little bit of the picture that I've put on the screen there. That's to do with value, creating that depth. Then we've got color, which is like harmony and the emotions that we choose to inject into our paintings. And then we've got technique. So that is really how we physically get the paint and put it onto the paper or canvas. That is the technique part. That's like the place where you see the style come out a little bit more. You feel the energy of a painting. Sometimes you can really sense that an artist has just, sloshed paint everywhere. Or you can also tell if someone's been really delicately applying it. That's the energetic presence of a painting, and also what makes it tactile. So there's that texture in there. And so when you actually figure out and learn these skills and then apply them, that is when everything changes. Like literally, it's like something unlocks, the potential unlocks, because your confidence grows because your paintings improve. And it's like this circle, it's like this loop that's never ending. And your confidence just grows and grows and grows. And then the freedom and the fun grows too. And your sketchbook gets filled with beautiful art, which you can look back on and feel so proud of. Deborah also tried this process, and she said she kind of like explains this in a really good way, because she said the lessons kind of all come together, and all together it's like she sees differently. She says, I'm seeing the beauty around me, but in shapes, sizes, colors, tones, values. So it's like you start training your artist eyes in the way we see. It's really like the world is opening up, which is amazing. All right, I'm just going to check in with the comments 1 second. Hi, Ben. Thank you so much. Julia, I find art relaxing and exciting. Feel happy when oh, that's beautiful. Esther, I'm looking forward to learning from this topic. Amazing. I'm so excited. There's even so many more of you joining. That's incredible. Okay, so now we come to the more practical part of today's lesson. Now that I've kind of explained the overview of this method, we're going to physically do it with some paint and canvas and paper right now. So I put out a poll on YouTube yesterday, and you guys have all been voting, and there is a clear winner, and that is Impressionistic still life. So I've put a picture of a flower there. So we're going to be doing an impressionistic flower. And the thing I really want to kind of make sure that this lesson is about it being playful. This is a sketchbook, and sketchbooks are places that we can just unleash our ideas, experiment. We want to be like little scientists and just play with the paint. So we are not looking for perfect paintings. We are not really even judging what it's about, but we're just going to experiment with techniques. And I'm going to be showing you some techniques that I use for impressionistic paintings. Now, what we want to really do is, as much as possible, take the pressure away, because when we take that pressure off, it allows us to fully learn. Imagine if somebody was learning guitar, right, and they weren't confident in guitar, and then they sat up and like sat in front of 100 people to try and learn guitar, and it had to sound good. Like that's not a good learning environment. So when we take away the pressure, it allows us to learn properly. And something I want you to remember, guys, as we go into this lesson, growth is really uncomfortable. When you think about, I mean, we've got a kid and they literally have growing pains as their body grows. We think about as you're at the gym and you're building muscle, like as you're pumping the iron, you're essentially like breaking the muscle and it grows back stronger, but it's painful. Like doing the workout itself is hard, and then it can be painful for me for like 3 days sometimes. So if it's hard, great. If it hurts a little bit, it means that it's stretching you and it's helping you grow. So let's like keep that in mind as we go forward. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out, this is where I've got to work out all the tech. Right, so I'm going to take that away. Hopefully, is this going to work? Right, I understand that it's very dark. Again, this is why my face is so light, because I wanted this to still be visible. Can everybody see? I know it's a little dark, and that's okay. It's going to be okay. But can everyone see it okay? Like, for this is the problem with live streams as well, is that normally when I'm filming a YouTube video, I get like everything set up with the lights and all that stuff. But with live streaming, it's a little bit different. It looks simple. It looks like it should just be one button that says go live. But actually, I currently have about 1,700,000 pieces of tech all working at the same time. It's kind of a miracle that we're actually live right now with all this going on. So thank you guys. Thank you for supporting me. I'm just squeezing out my paints. I've got titanium white, magenta, sap green, and I'm going to just pop a bit of orange down here. I probably should have put my orange next to the magenta, but you know, it's all good. And yeah, these are the brushes I have. There's a Winsor & Newton Galleria 1-stroke. That's this one. Nice big flat wide brush. And then I've got a smaller, I think this is a Galleria 1-stroke too, but just a smaller size. I've painted so much that it's actually just covered in paint right now. Thank you, Julia. She says, yes, I can see okay. Thanks, everybody. Awesome. Thanks, Paula. Amazing. Don't worry, Christine, you're not late to the party. You know what they say about arriving to a party late? When it gets good. Here we go. Right, I'm going to start with the bigger brush. So I have my reference photo. I've popped it up on the screen for you guys to see kind of what I'm doing. And I've got one in front of me as well. Oh, before we begin, I kind of wanted to show you how this applies. So actually, I'm just going to take you all back to my face. Here we go. I forgot this part because I kind of wanted to show you how this technique plays into a painting itself, so that you can kind of see like where we're going with this, because of course we don't have time to do a full painting today, but I want you to see the effect. So what we're going for is not realism, but it's impressionistic. It's given the sense of something, literally given the impression of something by using kind of like free-flowing brush strokes and really building on the painting. So we're going to be doing this. The way we're doing this is by, you know how we had all those 5 core skills? We're going to be applying all of them at the same time, but we're going to be focusing on the last one, which is technique. But for our technique to still result in a painting that we like, we do have to apply all the 5 core skills. So this is kind of like the effect of the artwork, that if you use this technique, you can kind of see how it comes together. This painting is not finished yet, actually, but this, oh, it's a little bit bright, isn't it? It's a little bit bright. That's a shame. Oh, I'll hold it this way. It seems to like it this way. So you can kind of see that there's no realism here, but the different layers build up together, and then you get this impressionistic effect. So you can kind of see what we're going for today. So I'm just going to basically show you exactly the process that I do to get that. Right, let's bring it. There we go. Cool. Okay, great. So I'm going to start with my big brush. I'm dampening it in some water and just taking off the excess water. And what we really want to do is, instead of seeing a flower, instead of seeing all the little details, we tend to get so hung up on details. We're actually just going to focus on the main shapes and the main colors. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some magenta, and I'm going to add a little bit of orange, because I think that will just give it a really nice vibrancy. And I'm just focusing on the middle of the rose. So I'm not even thinking about like how I'm going to start building the rose up yet. I'm just seeing that kind of middle section. Okay, and then I'm going to rinse that off a little bit. So that's kind of the middle of the rose, and this is just how I start, is just thinking about like what's beneath all those petals. Like if it was like a 2D image and you could like remove layer by layer, like a little film. We're taking the film of details away, we're taking the film of petals away, what's left? And for me, it's just that colour there. Now I'm going to build the colours kind of around it. So I do want like a pink, but I want to add a lot of white to it. I'm also going to add a bit of green just to take away that intensity. You can see at the bottom of the flower, the petals that are underneath, they're kind of like a muted colour. And I think with Impressionism, you can push it even further than it is on the photograph as well. You can afford to really push the boundaries a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go with that. And then what I'm going to do basically is I'm squinting my eyes. Don't know if you can see that, but I'm squinting my eyes and looking at the reference photo and thinking, okay, where do I want these kind of petals to go? And I know this looks really weird right now, but it'll come together, I promise. Now, something I want you to remember is with Impressionism, we want to keep structure in there because we're going to be having a lot of like loose brush strokes. And because we still want some structure in there, you know, we kind of think like the bones in the body. Oh yeah, sorry, Whitney, acrylic. We're using acrylic today. Yeah, just let me know. I'll keep checking in with the chat every so often. Yeah, so we think about the bones in the body. If we had no bones, we'd all just be like, you know, little piles of skin and organs on the floor, which sounds gross, but we need the structure. Otherwise, everything else doesn't work. So we've got to have the structure in there as well. So when we're using a big square or flat brush, what I want you to kind of be thinking is we're not like colouring in. We're not doing that because we could use any brush for that. Also, I don't want you to be using one of these, like a little round one, because if you were creating a rose, you'd be there a really long time, you know, a really long time. So using this is really powerful. But instead of colouring in, what we want to do is think in shapes. So we've got like square, we've got like kind of like a diagonal, we've got a line like this. This is how we're kind of using the flat brush to build up the shapes, and that's kind of how we're going. So there's also like a little green spot in there, so I kind of want to add some of that lovely green color too, because that is the complementary as well. If we look at the color chart, we've got green opposite to this magenta. So if we add little parts of green in there, it's going to really make the colors pop. Okay, so I'm going to rinse off my brush. Lovely. And then we're going to just create the other side. So I'm going to have some white, and I just want like a really light pink here. It's a nice, vibrant. We can even add a little bit of orange. Lovely. That's really good. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that around the edge. So now building up kind of those petals that you can see around this center. So when I'm painting in an impressionistic style, I'm not thinking, oh, that's a flower and that little petal's there. I'm kind of squinting and just seeing the overall shape. And when you look at the overall shape, that's kind of how you can start to build it up. Now, what I can start to do is bring this color into parts of what we've already got down. And you can see why it's so good using this big old brush, because you can so quickly and easily just pop in these petal shapes. Okay, lovely. I'm going to leave that there for now. And then I'm going to create like a little bit of a darker color, just kind of like a nice in-between, a nice peach. That's really nice. I love that. And kind of just like almost like be the go-between. Just start building up those petals. So it's just about taking kind of like one little bit at a time and then just seeing, okay, how can I really take that little section and use my brush to put that in. Also, when we talk about those 5 core skills, composition, not so much because we're not doing a full painting here, but you can see how the other 5 skills come into play. Sorry, 4 skills come into play. So we've got drawing. That's one of the biggest things here because we're looking at a shape or a petal, but we're turning it into, sorry, we're looking at a petal, but we're turning it into a shape. So like we had our circle, then we've got like these dashes. And so we're turning, that's drawing, that is drawing in action. The value is in action because we've got the darks to the lights. That's what's giving it depth. And then color mixing, we had the greens in there to kind of mute that color. Then we had the brighter colors. So you can see that all these skills are important. And really the technique, this is kind of like the last one we really should be coming to. All the other ones are like the foundation before you go ahead and add this technique. Christine says, what size is the brush? This one says 1 inch, 25 millimeters. Yeah, just let me know any questions. I'll keep trying to check in. Victoria says, this looks more fun than realism. Woohoo! I think so. Cool. Okay, so next what I want to do is I'm going to go back in because we painted over some of that initial dark red. I'm just going to go back in with some of those brighter tones. And again, I'm going to kind of look at my reference. And this is where we really start carving in some more of those shapes. So I'm not even looking at the reference photo as if it's a flower. I'm just looking at the reference photo and I'm seeing where's the dark and lights. I'm not even thinking about the color. I've made the color. Now I'm just thinking darks and lights, and just literally like copying them across. Cool. And it is very fun when you start kind of seeing things in this way. It kind of just unlocks because so many people say like, oh, I want to be good at drawing animals, or I want to be good at drawing flowers, or whatever it is. And honestly, when you kind of learn that everything, no matter what it is just made up of shapes and lines and colors, and that's all anything is. So honestly, it doesn't matter like what the subject is. When you learn this method, you can paint anything, and that's what's really, really cool about it. Right, so that's kind of the basic shapes. Now, I think from here, you can really go about it and take it like in with your own spin on it now, because this is where you can kind of start to inject your own personal style. The only thing I would like to do actually is just add a little bit of a dark. So I've got some magenta. I'm going to add some green, maybe a little bit of orange, just to warm it up a bit. And then I'm going to look at my reference photo, and just in a few spots, I'm just going to add this really dark so that we've just got like, it just adds the depth. It makes it kind of pop. Okay, that was maybe a bit too much. Is that too much? No, maybe not. I don't know. Okay. I don't want too much, just a little bit here and there. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Have to calm myself down. It's like adding highlights. Sometimes you can just get so happy with highlights, and then before you know it, the whole thing's highlights. Right, what time are we on? Okay, 5:30. That's okay. Cool. I don't want to go on too long because I bet you all need to get dinner and things like that. Right, so then the next thing I would do with this, if this was my painting, I'd take some of the pink and the white together, and I'd kind of push those highlights even more. Now, what's important, we don't, like I was just saying, we don't want to get highlight happy and just add tons of highlights everywhere. But really picking and choosing with intention. What do we want kind of like the main focal point to be? Where do we want the bit that like people see first? Now, for me, I always like to put the light and the dark next to each other. To me, that is always what makes it pop the most. So contrast, whether that's contrast of light and dark or a contrast of color like red and blue, something like that. So what I'm going to do is kind of use this dark patch as my, let's call it a pop location. The location of my pop is going to be here. And you can see instantly, like as I add that on, because it's so dark right next to it, it just draws your eye in there straight away. And because I don't, basically every time I add a new stroke, I'm going to be taking away from that effect. And that's okay. We don't want to just have one in there, but we do want to kind of do it carefully. Now, what I like to do in a moment like this is consider where it's going to go and kind of almost imagine it being there before I actually put it down. I feel like sometimes we can just go there, that's supposed to go there, that's supposed to go there, and just keep adding brush strokes, get brush stroke happy. But kind of imagining where it's going to go and thinking it's already there is a really great way. And I know that we are an imaginative bunch of people because we're artists. So we're going to be good at that, even if you think you're not good at that. So you can see I'm just using the shape of my brush, like this line, we did this line, I'm just using that to carve. It's almost like this is the marble and I'm carving out my flower. And that's kind of like, I guess that is the process really of what we've been doing. The initial kind of colors was that first chunk of marble. And now we're going in with our brush. And I'm just going to thicken up some of these brush strokes. And as they kind of come out, because you want your initial ones in the middle to be quite structural, but as you come out, you can definitely give them a little bit of like a fanning. So you're kind of like pressing down on your brush and then lifting off slowly. That's a really nice technique, actually. Let me just show that to the side so you can see what I'm doing there. So I've got my flat brush and I'm putting it down. And then as I put it down, I press on, curve it round, and then lift off. And that is a really nice way to create a petal with these brush strokes as well. Okay, cool. So let me know any questions. Let me just hop in to see any questions coming in. Every time I try to paint, the colors come out dull. I'm guessing that's dull, not bright. Yes, okay. If the colors come out, oh yes, the colors come out dull and not bright at all. Okay, that could be one of two things. The first thing that might be is that, let me just pop up your question on the screen so people know what I'm replying to. That could be one or two things. It could be that the acrylic paints you are using are not artist grade. The ones I recommend and use with all my paintings, oh, can you see that? Golden. These are the ones I recommend. The pigment quality is really good. If you don't have great pigments to start with, it's going to be hard to make a bright color. The other thing that it could be is that your colors are bright, but everything's relative, isn't it? So like in real life, we think of a rose or a flower. Not many elements of it in reality are truly pink, like a true pink without any like gray added to it. So that's why we dulled down. If I just show you, now we're moving on to color mixing a little bit here, but that's okay. Because I noticed on the poll, the one that came second closest was color harmonies. And I'm doing like a Mr. Miyagi on you because actually what we're doing is that in this lesson too. So you got 2 for the price of 1. That's not bad going, is it? So color harmonies, we looked at this color wheel a little bit. I am coming back to the question. This is hopefully going to answer your question. Is that opposite? Oh, you can't see that, can you? Apologies. Opposite on here will make a color harmony because it's a complementary color. So we've got like magenta, or we're using a bit of the orange. So it's more like in between here. And we're using green to pull that back. So what that means is we've got like a true magenta here. That's just pure out of the, what's that called? I've lost it, guys. Out of the pot. The tube, that's the word I'm thinking of, tube. Then we've got green, so that's the opposite color. Now what happens is when we add these colors together, it basically creates like a duller version. So you can do it either way. You could do it as a duller pink, or if you add more green, you can do it as a duller green. Now we're not talking about brightness here because you could add more white to either of those. That makes it lighter. We're talking about color intensity. And that's, I think that might be what will make your colors look brighter, is when you use desaturated colors, so mixes in between the complementary colors and have them next to bright colors. That's what makes the bright colors look brighter. It's almost like, the way I imagine it is like a theater. If everyone's competing, you can't hear anyone, and if you've got all the singers on stage and all that, you can't actually hear anybody. Whereas if you have like the quieter choir or singers in the background and their voices are slightly lower, then you have like one main kind of singer, it all harmonizes together and actually sets the stage. So the second way we can make our colors look brighter is to pair them with the desaturated colors, and them two together, it kind of like sets the stage for the bright colors. So usually it'll be one of those two things that is at play. That was a really long answer to the question, but it was a great question. Helen said, I tend to smudge one color on top of another. I find it difficult to maintain the sharp lines. Okay, yeah, let me just pop this one up. And because that is like a really, really common thing, and something I definitely used to struggle with as well. What really helped me with that is, rather than, so say we're painting, you'll notice that I wasn't just like going, okay, one there, and sometimes we can kind of do it on autopilot and just keep adding different brush strokes, but really thinking before every brush stroke. So we might take some I don't know, we might take some of this lighter color, and instead of just going plonk, instead we just go, right, if that was there, and kind of imagining it there, and then we can do a brush stroke and then pull it away. Otherwise, like you mentioned about one color on top of each other and smudging it, that's what kind of we do with this. When we just move our paintbrush back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, we're actually losing that impressionistic energy, quality, and presence. So yeah, when we just think sharp lines, and it can feel scary. I think sometimes we kind of do this because it's like, I'm painting, and it kind of it allows us to kind of think, not take, I don't know how to say it, I don't know, it kind of makes things feel like it should be easier, but actually it can just really take away that punch and that power. The way I want you to think about impressionistic painting from this moment is, imagine you are writing a card to your friend. Do you write a whole essay, or do you pick out the really important parts that get to the point and just put them in there? You take out all the fluff and just put the really important things in it. And I kind of want you to think that way about painting impressionism. It's saying the most with the least, almost like the least amount of brush strokes possible. Can you still say what you want to say? So yeah. Susan says the dual colors could possibly not use enough paint. Yes, true. Yeah, not necessarily not using enough, but if we add too much water, that can definitely break the pigment down as well. So just making sure that our paintbrush is damp, but not like dripping wet. Okay, so time is cracking on. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I think we should probably leave it there because there's a lot of techniques in there. And what I really love for you to do is to replay this video and try these techniques in your sketchbook. You also, oh, okay. I'll tell you what, send me an email about those. Like, if you could send me a picture of your painting with the colors looking dull, I think that would help me diagnose what the issue is going on there. Cool, thank you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, what I really want you to do is try this in your sketchbook, and feel free to use the image here, or you can use anything. Like literally, you could use a glass. You could plan, any kind of subject is absolutely fine. There's absolutely no problem with using a different, if you don't like roses or something. And it can work with so many different kind of ways. I tried like a few different sketches out. earlier, just playing around, just like 5-minute ones. And you can do, you know, like the roses that are a bit more, I don't know if that's a bit wet, probably shouldn't put that down. You know, the roses that are a bit more like loads of petals, a bit more like peony looking. It works really nice with those as well. You just want your center bit and kind of add in those more desaturated colors around the edge, because that's really what will set the color apart. And then you can also use it with more the roses that have really those like really straight lines. You can do that as well. Oh, before we just move on, I did want to show you something with the palette knife, because palette knives definitely have a place. Ooh, dropping everything. Palette knives definitely have a place in Impressionism, and I use them a lot. All you want to do is take some of, like, especially your highlights, maybe on the like later layers, and you can just use like the edge of the palette knife to kind of carve those petal shapes. And I use palette knives a lot, and it's really, really nice, especially for like adding texture. So yeah, you can do the edge, like if you're kind of getting an edge like this, or if you want to add some color, you can kind of spread it around like this. And that adds a really nice energetic quality as well, which I use a lot. But on the later layers, I would definitely say the palette knife is on the later layers. So cool. Right, let me bring up these slides again. Okay, cool. Thank you. Mike Nanette Holland says, thank you. I'm excited to try Sketchbook so I can just relax. Yay, that's amazing. Julie says, thank you. That was lovely. Such fun. No worries. Let me know. Tag me if you post it on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure to tag me in your beautiful creations. I really, really would love to see them. And it really means a lot to me as well that you guys are sticking around. There's still so many of you. Now, what I'd really love you to kind of future pace with me right now, and to think about the progress that you would make if you did something like this every day for 2 weeks. So you see that didn't take long, did it? It took like 15-20 minutes, but it's amazing what you can learn truly when you're not just practicing painting, but we hyper focus on one specific skill at a time. But then as you put them all together, that's when you see immense progress. And because today we've looked at just one of the skills, mainly that's technique. But when you look at all those 5 skills together, that is when everything just really takes on leaps and bounds. Let me know if you guys got any questions, by the way. Oh, it's beautiful looking through everyone's comments. Thank you all. Who here kind of feels like they would like to discover more of how this process could work, and kind of like how it would, what the breakdown would be? Let me know if you think that it would be helpful to you, because this method is exactly what I teach in Supercharge Your Art in 24 hours, in 14 days. Because really what it does, you're not just creating pretty paintings, but you're training your artist eye. You're changing the way that you see the world. And when you change the way you see, it changes the way you paint. And that's the secret of unlocking the true power of creating art that you really, really love. So I would love to invite you. I would really, truly love to watch you grow into the artist that you dream of being in Supercharge Your Art in 14 days. It's a 14-day sketchbook adventure, just like today, to really help you improve your art skills. And we focus on just one essential skill a day. Yes, Esther says, can you remind me of the 5 points? Of course, let's have a quick look at that before we carry on, because that is a really, really important part of it. These are the different 5 skills: composition, drawing, values, and color and technique. Now, today we looked at technique, but when we think about that cake again, we looked at the different ingredients in a painting. Technique really is the cherry on the top. And the cherry on the top of a cake is only appreciated when the cake tastes good, right? So if you have a cake that's like dry or not sweet at all, or a bit like, oh, would you be like, this cake is really delicious because it's got a cherry on the top? No, the cherry is like it's like the final touch, right? And it's the same with this. We did technique, and yes, technique is important, but it only works when those other structural elements are in, like the composition, the drawing, and the values, and that the colors make sense. And so when you have all of those, that is how you get a painting that actually works. Now, what we do in Supercharge Your Art in 14 days, we take all those 5 skills, but we spread them out over 14 days. So one day we do color. I'll go into a bit of a breakdown in the lessons in a minute. In fact, some of them are on the screen here. We'll take a day at drawing proportions. We'll take a day at technique. Then we'll look at value. Then we'll look at technique again, and we kind of bounce between them. And it's been designed in a real way so that you can start to not just learn the skills, because we can all learn a skill, but how do we use the skill? And it's kind of like a layering process that once you layer it, it just makes sense. And it really gives you that clear path, and no more looking at the blank page going, what on earth am I supposed to paint on this? No more of that. You can just get your sketchbook out and you know exactly what to do, exactly how to do it. So I would love, love, love to work with you and help you really grow into the artist, but from the inside out, using the sketchbook process. I'm going to be open like the digital doors to this 2-week transformation starting from now. So it'd be fantastic if you would like to join me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the link in the comment box if you'd like to join. That is a link to do so. So yeah, you can just head to there, and also the link should be in the description box. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, you should be able to see it from there too. Also, is there anyone here? And I'm not sure there will be, because there's about 86 of you right now, but is there anyone here that is in Supercharge Your Art? Just let me know in the comments if you are in Supercharge Your Art and what you would say your biggest takeaway was. That would be really cool to hear from anyone live. But if not, if there's no one here live, then I've brought up some, just get rid of my face, some of the experiences that people are having in the course, and things like renewed enthusiasm, confidence to pursue my journey as an artist, which is incredible. That's Deborah. And Kirsty says the whole course gave her a deeper understanding of the painting process. The painting she's got there of the fruit, we were doing color mixing. So we were taking different fruits and like mixing the colors to the perfect match. It was like a crash course in color mixing, really. Sarah says taking my sketchbook out into public and not being afraid to paint in others was something that she really wanted to do for a long time, but lacked the courage. And so it really helped her to take that by the horns and to go and do it in the park, which is beautiful. I just love that. I love that so much. Rose said that she really enjoyed with the painting that she did. And it was only a 15-minute exercise and was so happy with. And that's the thing that I love about Supercharge Your Art, is that these exercises are designed. Oh, what's happening here? Here we go. These exercises are designed really for speed, not speed like we're trying to rush through it, but speed so that you can see the biggest progress in the shortest amount of time. Because although we love painting together, what I really want to do is give you the confidence to just paint whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. And that's really like my goal. So yeah, I'll pop the link in the comment section, and it's in the description box if you'd like to join us. Now, if I was teaching this like a live workshop like today, it would easily be priced at like $200 at least if we did like each lesson live and going through it. And this course is actually currently on my website for $70. People have enrolled at that price. But because you are here with me now, I appreciate you so much for sticking with me. I'd love to give you this transformative package this summer so you can really get started in your sketchbook. You also get lifetime access to the whole thing, so you can watch and rewatch and keep on refreshing yourself with these lessons as many times as you like for just $47 today. Just a one-off payment to join. You get lifetime access, including any updates to the program. And there's a 30-day guarantee. So if you join, you do the lessons and you don't get results, or you're not happy with it for any reason, we can just give you a full refund, no problem. That's because I just have so much confidence in this program, and I've seen people have really good experiences and transformations with it. So I have full confidence in it. Thank you, Esther. Thank you for joining as well. Now, I know that some of us have these recurring thoughts that kind of get in the way of us making art. So let me know in the comments if any of these resonate with you. If you kind of think, I really want to do more art, I just don't have time. I just don't have the time. Honestly, I find myself thinking this a scary amount of times. But like we mentioned earlier, when we talked about the things that art gives us, I mean, we can even just scroll back and read just some of the things that people said, that art really charges our batteries. I'm just reading the comments that you guys said. Lillian said it's charging my batteries. And Victoria said it's creatively relaxing. Raindrop says it's definitely therapy for me. Claire said fulfilled. Painting is relaxing. Stress relief. These are all what you guys said. Now, should we be prioritizing something that does all those things for us? I'm going to leave that question with you. And also, because I know we don't have hours in the day to just kind of just make art however we want, that's why each of these lessons is under 30 minutes. So most are around 20 minutes. There's the odd one that's a bit longer that goes more in depth, but generally they're about 20 minutes. You said saw on the last slide, one was 15 minutes to do a painting. And because really a lot of the time we spend thinking and in procrastination. And if we just picked up our paints and had a plan, knew what we were doing, we can actually accomplish so much in just half an hour. And that's just like one Netflix episode, right? So that's the great thing about this course. And that's what I was really wanting to do, is make sure it was accessible. Now, another thing that we kind of can feel a lot is, I'm not good enough. When I get better, I'll feel like investing in myself, or like we mentioned earlier, we label ourselves as hobby artists, and that we are not worth it or not worth spending money on supplies or courses, things like that. And really, it's kind of like this program is exactly for you if you feel that way, because you probably only feel like you're not good enough if you know that you're not reaching your potential yet. And yet, if you did invest more in yourself, you could reach that potential, and then you'd feel with it. You'd think, look at what I've made. Like some of the paintings that you will make. In fact, I don't think I've got the exact words, but someone in this program put a comment saying, I cannot believe that I have just painted this, like in disbelief that they had painted this painting, that they'd never thought they were capable of it, which makes me so excited that people are experiencing that. But that is really that you can unlock, but you first have to say yes to yourself, and that this is important to you. So that is up to you. Another thing we can sometimes worry about courses is, oh, this is just another course I'm not going to finish and it's going to weigh on me and things like that. But really, I don't want this to be a whole bunch of videos. And trust me, I have seen some art courses where it's like, it's a good deal, sure, but you have about 200 videos and they're all in like real time. And it's just it's a bit hard going, I find. I feel like I just want things to be really accessible, understandable, and in short, bite-sized chunks, not just like a whole library of like hundreds of videos, because that is a bit overwhelming for me. But that's why this is just a 14-day experience, and it's built to really help you finish, to get those fast wins. Because I think when we just spend, oh, sorry, Deborah, I'll pop the link in the comment section. Hopefully it should work. And also it's in the description if you'd like to join. Yeah, because when we get like those fast wins, say we spend 15 minutes painting and we love what we paint and we learn loads, that like enthuses us, you know the word I mean. It gives us enthusiasm to carry on. And also it recharges our batteries. It makes us feel like, yes, I can do this, and really proud of ourselves. So when we get that growth, it's kind of like addictive, that momentum. And that's how this has been designed, so that it keeps you like going back and seeing what you can learn next. And really, if we're waiting for like the perfect time to do it, then we're going to be waiting forever, honestly. When we start today, this is when you can just inject your art skills straight away. So yeah, I'm super excited. Let's turn all those empty sketchbooks on that shelf that I used to have. So there's no judgment. I just remember feeling that same way. So if you've got some empty sketchbooks, then this is those sketchbooks time. This is not even about you. This is about those poor, dusty sketchbooks sitting on your shelf. Really looking for a beautiful mess inside, a beautiful experimental mess. Oh, thank you so much. That's beautiful. I'm just going to share this. And about the Supercharge Your Art course this is about, and it is life-changing. The difference in growth is amazing and leads one to want more. Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's amazing as well. I recognize your name straight away. And thank you for sharing, because I think sometimes we can think, okay, this all sounds good, but actually you think, really, will it really work? Is it actually what it's saying it is? So yeah, I think hearing from real people live in the chat box definitely helps us think these things are possible for us too. So if you have any questions, let me know. We're coming up for nearly an hour, so that's a great time. Yeah, another one in Supercharger Art. Amazing. Woohoo! And if anyone's joining currently, let us know if you've joined today. The doors are open. Oh, I'm just going to scroll up because I think I missed a few questions from earlier. Janice says, what paper were you painting on? Good question. This paper is... And the reason why I use this, by the way, is for filming more than anything, but it is an Arteza acrylic pad. Where's my camera? There we go. Arteza acrylic pad, just from Amazon. But I find that it's really great for filming videos. But in my personal work, when I'm not filming, I use, and I can show you the packaging because I've just ordered a brand new one. Actually, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Korean or Chinese, but it's this one. I think actually this sketchbook is linked. So if you join Supercharger Art, you will find the link on Amazon to this. It's a really beautiful sketchbook, actually. I've tried a lot of them. This is it outside of the packet. Where's my camera? And it's got a beautiful blue cover with yellow on the edges, and yeah, it's pretty good for acrylics, because that's sometimes a struggle, isn't it, finding a sketchbook for acrylics. So yeah, definitely go for like a thick sketchbook with acrylics for sure. Victoria says, thank you, you're an awesome art teacher, can't wait to give it a try. Thank you, Victoria, and I love your picture. That's super cool. Amazing. Okay, I'm just gonna go, oh, can you paint the background a little bit to see how I do the texture background with the leaves? Yeah, we didn't really get time for this today, but there is a new YouTube video coming up. I filmed, there's going to be a great deal of YouTube coming this week, so watch out, get ready. Get ready for the influx of YouTube videos. I just got super inspired on Saturday, like 4 days ago, and I was like, I haven't filmed for YouTube for ages. I think like putting this class together, it made me really like excited, because I kept thinking, oh, I could do this, and oh, I could do this. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all this. So let's just do it in a YouTube video. So there's a new YouTube video coming out this week. And I show you how to paint cosmos flowers, and I show you how to tie in the background with the same technique. So if you enjoyed today's class, it kind of expands even more further on there. So yeah, watch out on YouTube, it's coming. Yes, keep the questions coming if you guys have any. Oh, about Supercharger Art says, I love how it made me more excited to do more sketchbooks. Amazing. That is literally one of the best things ever, because so often our sketchbooks, they just sit unused. And then I've done it myself so many times, and you kind of get a canvas out and you think, oh, I'm going to like do this painting or whatever. And then sometimes it doesn't always work out. And if it doesn't, usually it comes down to the fact that we're not using our sketchbooks. So if you feel like your paintings aren't where they want to be, that is a clear sign to get your sketchbook out, because that's what it's for. Zahirul says, can we have a free class for learning in advance? You're on it. This is the free class. There's a lot on YouTube. I've got hundreds of tutorials on YouTube as well. So if you wanted the free class, this is it. Today's was about techniques. Hopefully you can join us. If not, that's totally fine. I understand as well. Deborah says, I joined. Woohoo! Great to have you on board, Deborah. and I'm super excited to see your progress as an artist. I meant to say as well, if you want to see real life snapshots of people in the course, just check into Instagram in the hashtag, like search on Instagram. I'm going to put the tag, so you have to do like the hashtag, but if you search SYA14 on Instagram, I'm just going to pop it in the comments. If you search that hashtag on Instagram, you'll be able to see loads of people's artworks in the course, because in each video I really encourage people to post it on Instagram so that we can all see each other's with that hashtag. If you search it though, make sure you don't just search on Instagram in general. Go to the tags tab and search it in there, because then it'll be more like it. Can you do more tutorials on how to paint flowers like in your Nature's Charm collection? I'm in love with that collection. Oh, thank you so much. I feel like I filmed a magnolia. Painting, but I can't remember what it was for now. But yeah, definitely, I'll put that on my list of things. Lucy says, do you have any videos just using palette knives? I love the texture of it, knife and thick paint. Yes, I have one on my YouTube. Let me try and find it. I'll try and find that quickly for you, because I also love like doing palette knives and stuff as well, and having that like inner, oh, there we go, especially like for impressionistic painting. So let me just see if I can grab that. Here we go. Let me just grab the link. Here we go. Palette knife techniques. Palette knife. Oh, I haven't spelled palette knife wrong. That right, that's not good, is it? Palette knife techniques. There we go. I've just popped the link to the YouTube video in the comment section. So if you want even more suggestions on palette knives, I think that was a rose as well. I think that video was a rose. So yeah, you can have a look a little more into that. Raindrop says, do you like Claude Monet's work? How can you tell? Yes, absolutely. In fact, you'll see on the background of my phone, let me just clear my notifications. I've got water lilies. So there you go. Proof. Not that you need proof. No worries, Lucy. All good. Well, seeing as we've gone over an hour, unless there's any more questions, I'll probably love you and leave you guys with that. Hopefully you can watch the replay and do some incredible versions of that. And I'd just love to see your version. So just tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to see. And also remember what we said, playful, not perfect. Nothing's perfect in this world. Our artwork will never be perfect, nor do we want it to be perfect. In fact, if you want perfect artwork, just go and type it into some AI. That'll make some artwork for you. But we don't want that, do we? Because we like making it and we love that imperfection. I'm going to pop the link in one more time to join Supercharge Your Art. As I mentioned, this is going to be perfect for you if you feel like you want to improve your skills and learn more about those 5 core skills and how they really play into your artwork. Then this is perfect for you. I'm super excited to welcome in a bunch of new students. A few of you have said you've already joined. Beautiful and amazing to have you in. Also, I did want to mention, you don't have to do the videos during 14 days. Probably should have said this earlier. You can do the videos at a time that works for you. So when you first join, you'll get access to day 1, and every day you'll get a new video land in your inbox, and you'll get access to that in the course. That's because I actually don't want you to log in and see them all and just pick out the ones you feel passionate about and ignore the ones you don't, because usually it's the ones that we don't necessarily gravitate towards. Those are the ones that we need. So that's why it's been done that way. And also, as soon as you get access to them, they're yours to keep forever, and you can watch them as many times as you like. So if you prefer to do rather than 1 a day, if you think I'll do 1 a week, that's fine too. If you turn it into a 14-week sketchbook challenge, perfect, amazing. Whatever you feel like suits you. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Great, Deborah. Yeah, lots of new YouTube videos coming soon. Okay, I think that's all, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are beautiful for spending your time with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every single one of you that has joined today. I really, really do. And I mean that. Hopefully you can join us in Supercharge Your Art. It'd be fantastic to have you in. Let's get rid of that for a minute. If not, I trust your decision on what you feel like is right for you, and that's totally fine. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Bye, guys.